Need backup.
Hello, hello. This is gonna be the last time I'm ever breaking this shit up again. After this, I may just end up deleting the video in the last live, including this one. I'm ready to move on from this shit. Oh, man. It's just like, even asking for a little bit is too much. Out of like 10 simple games, just let 2 be hardcore. What I mean by hardcore, I don't know why I should have to explain this, but what I mean by hardcore is just having a game that just an honest to God fighting game, man. It doesn't have like 2 buttons like where you can just beat niggas, like they can just skip neutral and shit like that. Just honest to God, like just real. Like, mind you, I don't mind simple fighting games existing. I don't know where anybody got that from. I literally just said that. I literally insinuated that in the first video. The first video, I literally said, I just want some diversity between hardcore and simple fighting games. Hold on, the music's too loud. I'm gonna fix it. Just 2 out of the 10. Plus, people want to act like, oh, I'm like some gatekeeping asshole or some shit. When I literally said just some diversity, that's it. I didn't want one extreme or the other. Just some diversity. Some people actually like to play harder fighting games. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. Some people like that because I wouldn't have had like plenty of people that felt the same way I do. It just don't come out. It just don't come out of nowhere, man. And plus, when I see shit like this pop up on my channel, oh, let me read the comment. I mean, I'm a fighting game fan too. Why does my feelings have to be invalidated because you don't agree with it? I can get that people don't agree. Still, I don't mind that. I don't mind people not agreeing. But when it comes to just being dismissive of everything I have to say and just sum it up to like somehow to be skill issue, that's stupid. I don't like Strive because it's oversimplicity. I just don't like it. Sure, there can be like some tech you can probably find, but by the time that happens, I'm already bored with the game. I'm already bored with it. I can play Jacko, I could play Happy Chaos or whoever. I would still be bored. Because the overall game is still oversimplified. And plus, one dumbass literally thought I said every fighting game needs 1 frame links when I clearly didn't say that. I just saying 1 frame links as an example. Just as an example. I don't get why I can't like certain things, but like people like Justin Wong, like what I said earlier, he made a tier list not too long ago putting Strive in trash tier, and nobody had a problem. Even the people that had a problem, they gave him like nice energy, but me, it's just ruthless. It's ruthless. And plus, I enjoy some simple fighting games too now. I enjoy Melty Blood, Hype Lumina. I actually started kind of liking the game. I'm kind of mad at myself because I wasted so much time playing Street Fighter V and I knew that game was trash. I was trying to my damnness to get enjoyment out of that game because some of my favorite characters of all time were in that game. It had Gil, Nash, and Alex. Those are 3 of my favorite characters of all time. 3 of my most favorite characters were in that game and it still wasn't enough. And plus, I didn't always have a problem with modern controls or auto combos or whatever. Not all the time. Like, I can let it slide for like games for for example, like Under Night In-Birth. I mean, that game is kind of complex. But here's the problem: it kills the complexity in when like these modern controls and stuff in most things, it kills the complexity. It's like a red flag for it, which is simplifying the gameplay, like with Guilty Gear Strive. And plus, people say like, "Oh, you don't want new people to play these games." I do, but people are just gonna have to accept there's just some strokes for different folks. Not everybody's gonna like your shit, no matter, regardless of how easy or how hard it is. Just saying. And I know Under Night In-Birth is coming out too, but like that's just literally one game. One. Out of the 10s and 20s. All I'm asking is just for a little bit more. Just because I want to play chess, that doesn't mean I'm shitting on checkers or bad at checkers. And I never got like this whole skill issue argument when I literally want to play something that requires more skill. Just being honest, that requires more skill, more timing, more patience, etc. For wanting more games like that to exist in the market. I didn't say that won't be the only thing in the market. And I literally defended Grand Blue versus Rising, however you say that game's name, for being what it is. I think that should be the golden standard for simple fighting games, to be honest with you, because a lot of their modes have nothing to do with fighting. Like if somebody's just wanting to chill and play like that little Fall Guys mini game that they have, or just a classic 90s beat 'em up style, they can do that. I think fighting games in general should have stuff like that, where it doesn't take itself seriously, so you can take a breather without getting too tilted. We can actually just take a break. Similar with what's that mode? World Tour mode in Street Fighter 6. I have no problem with new players getting into shit, but when you actually dumb it down, when people know from like when some of your games from the ground up were loved because of their complexity in their systems, and you just bastardize it for an audience that just drop the game anyways, that's when I have a problem. Oh, instead of them not playing the game, instead of them dropping the game in 2 weeks, now it's 3 weeks. All I want is a balance, man. Just a balance. And I'll tell you the real reason why fighting games die fast. It's not because they're too hard, it's because there's a lack of respect. Let's wind the clock back to DNF Duel, right? Who in the hell was talking about Battle Mage when she dropped? Or when that trailer dropped for her? Who talked about her? Like anybody big? Nobody did. Because you wanna know why? The money wasn't there. Oh yeah, what's up, X Vegito? I'm talking about like from the shit from my last video, saying like, oh, I'm a gatekeeper, like elitist or some shit, when I know that's not true. And people act like they got a personal vendetta against me just because I want something, because I just want diversity between simple, easy to jump in games with more hardcore games. Just a balance between the two. Just more releases of both. And that's too much to ask. How is that ridiculous? And how is it a skill issue? I will never get that. How is it a skill issue? Why I just want to play something that's a little bit more complex. Let me read you a comment. Let me read you a comment. This is like, it was like some other dude from like the last live. Never joined, by the way. It says, you sound like a gatekeeper elitist. No worries, the FGC is going to be fine without you. I don't care if it needs me or not. But listen to what some rando like burner account like said. and said, like, in response to that comment, hit the nail on the head. They now know they were never as good as they thought they were. They don't realize some of my most popular videos were me literally getting my ass cooked and having fun with the game anyway. And mind you, with Street Fighter 4, when I initially played it back in the Xbox 360 days, that was my first game I've ever taken seriously. Got all the way up to B+. Never knew anything about one frame links even existing until like a couple of years later, and I had fun with it all over again. But let's continue, since people know so much about me. Their arguments are never based in logic. Even this uploader has to speak on an emotional basis, saying how good it felt when he put out a combo that he said he had no idea how he did it. The reason why I don't know how I did it is because I practiced and discovered it. Just like how you do a DP by accident when you first learn these games. Go like, oh wow, I did this move. How did I do it? I kept experimenting until I figured out how to do it and got consistent with it. That's the magic of fighting games. It's discovery. That's the magic. Learning all this shit is the science. Learning, getting consistent is the science. Discovery is the magic. But let's continue again, since people really think they know who the hell I am. Speaking on an emotional basis, saying how good it felt when blah blah blah. I read that a lot of legacy player hoarders' knowledge of how to play better in order to defeat others. They exploit the hell out of the system, and now that companies realize that innovation and evolution has been lacking at the fighting games, and that fighting games fans are not buying fighting games as much as they used to, they need to evolve, innovate, and teach. Accessibility is a much. When did I say teaching and knowledge was not something I wanted to have in these fighting games? Since when? Since when did I say that? It's like and I defended auto combos and stuff like that, where it's like when the game kind of low-key plays for you back in like Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I defended it there because I already said that knowledge wasn't accessible, because the internet isn't like how it used to be back then. It's like what it is now. But then again, like they know me better than I do, apparently. I didn't even say that. And I literally praised Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising. I literally defended that game for being what it is. If it gets new players in the game, sure, no problem. And especially from a game from the ground up, I don't have a problem with it being simple. No problem. But when simple fighting games are just going to be the only thing in the market, I think that's BS. For every 5 Mario games, it should at least be at least 2 Dark Souls games. At least 2. At least 2, man. And even that's too much to ask in the FGC. Are you kidding me? And they wonder why so many people leave this genre and just leave the whole community in of itself. It's not just me in a vacuum. There's actually plenty of people in my comments. Like I said again, I said it once, I'll say it again. There are actually plenty of people in the comments that felt the same way I do. And I can't wait 10 years from now when literally fighting games are literally going to be reduced to button mashing, if that happens. I literally cannot wait. Because the same people that are bitching at me saying like, oh, I can't adapt or whatever, they're going to be the ones saying the exact same things that I'm saying. And I'm just going to say like, oh, just adapt. I can't wait to say it. I can't wait. If that ever happened. I doubt it, but knowing these companies, I wouldn't be shocked. I would not be shocked. Yeah, what's up, Tutsis, man? And what's up, Scarecrow, man? I'm just so over this genre, bro. I'm just so over it. It's like if you have one opinion about something, or like you feel like there should be a hint of gray, that automatically means you're an extremist on one side or the other. Actually, hold on. I think I got another comment from that same dude. Hold on. I can't see it on my phone. Yeah, this dude. Oh, yeah, it's the same guy. It says, like, let me read this one. This dude lost the whole plot. There's a massive difference between having a thick skin in a community full of competitors who companies finally having an epiphany and remembering that games are meant to be entertainment. That also means things to evolve and be accessible. I never said it wasn't. And fighting games have always been accessible. I'm just saying the information wasn't as accessible as it is now. Because the technology wasn't there like it is. We didn't have YouTube, we didn't have Twitch, we didn't have Twitter and all this shit where you can just easily ask. I think alternative controls would have been fine back then because the information was not there. It wasn't ready. Which I said in the past. But people don't like to do their homework. Okay. Fighting games appealing to the hardcore crowd with excessive micromanagement has not given Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, or Tekken more sales. My God, bro. You want to know why Street Fighter 2? I want to know why those titles lasted so long? It's not because it was hardcore or if it was. It's like catering to one group or another. People just didn't give a shit about winning or losing, for the most part. They just had fun with the games at arcades. It was just something for they do for their weekend. Because people had respect for themselves and the people had respect for these games, which is why they wouldn't have. If it was truly that much of an issue, truly, they would have never gotten off the ground in the first place. If it was that big of a pain in the ass. You need casuals in order to grow and maintain the base. I'm not denying that. And to a degree, yeah, you do. But mind you, if you lose that core audience, you're basically going to lose the casual audience in suit. You're basically going to lose them hand in hand. One can't exist without the other. You need people to be able to enjoy the fighting games without feeling they are slowly being masochists by the minute, eventually wanting to be in it BDS, and because they are consistently getting punished and beat up no matter how much they try. Then what's the point of fighting games? Legacy players went through the exact same thing. Nobody was born with talent. Well, nobody's born with talent. All the talent from fighting games came from hard work and hard work only. Back then and now. We had it worse and we did it better. Are you kidding me? But let's keep going. Sure, losing is not always fun. I can admit that losing isn't fun. But damn, it's like everything's a skill issue until it hurts a casual person's feelings. But oh, us legacy players, we get no remorse. We get no remorse. It allows the system, blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. Legacy fighters have more accessibility, also allows for the system as a whole to grow from where it was, and therefore it will always be a skill gap. And for players now have more incentive to grow their skills in less harsher masochistic curve for developers to increase the tools we are given. Dude, the only way the skill gap tightens is when you get better. I'm sorry, a casual that just doesn't want to learn, they always gonna lose no matter what, no matter how easy the games have become. They're always gonna lose. They are always going to fucking lose. So why take away a person that actually earned their skill and due diligence to take away their right for steak because a baby can't chew it? I don't get that shit. They gotta learn how to enjoy it. I'll tell you where this really started off of. That's because when people think of fighting games, they instantly think of online mode. You gotta learn how to enjoy the game first before you actually go and competing and shit like that with other players. That's a lot of people's biggest flaw. And plus, people acting like I don't have any skill when it comes to Street Fighter 6. When people already know, I already beaten Nightmare Effects. I've beaten Demon X, one of the best Chun-Li's like in the US. That was on Street Fighter 5. He didn't get a game off of me. I played him multiple times. Multiple times. I literally have it recorded. In like one video that I already pre-made like a while back. I don't have like the set itself, but I do have a few matches where I beat him. And I beat Nightmare Effects 2-0 against his own Luke. Mind you, he plays Luke longer than I did. Are you serious? I damn near had 1,700 points. I mean, MR points in Street Fighter 6 before that reset. After that reset, I just could not care. I could just not give a shit. Not because I think the game is oversimplistic. I think Street Fighter 6 is good. I mean, it's not my Street Fighter 4, but I think it's all right. It's good. It's decent. But the drops in inputs and how Drive Rush eats your inputs, like I just got tired of it. And after that, all that grinding just for me to get reset and lose it anyway, I just lost all interest. I will say one thing, as much as modern fighting games try to gain a broader audience, they don't actually make the game more accessible than they realize. Yeah. But let me continue with this comment. I'm getting off track. Modern controls, special style, hold on. I got a little too far. No, there we go. Modern controls, special style is another way to play. I was born in 1992. I was born in 1996, dumbass. I don't know why people are acting like I'm double my age. I just respect what was before and how other people felt in that time too. Just 2 fighting games. They can be just hardcore. Just have a little bit of diversity, just a little bit. And that's too much to ask. Too much to ask. Seriously. But let's continue. Modern controls, special style, and another way to play. I was born in 1992. I've been playing fighting games since I was out of the womb, and even laughing at how much of an ass this dude is making himself out to be. Are you fucking... I'm gonna block this dude after this. Unless he wants to come in here, and then literally I'll tell him where he's wrong at. Really, you're getting mad about the skill gap increasing, and you're getting left behind and simply cannot adapt. Again, with this skill gap BS. Again, just because I want to play chess, that doesn't mean I'm ass at checkers. What is with this skill issue garbage? If I want to play something more complex, and I want to play something that doesn't hold my hand as much as possible, how is that a skill issue? How? I literally got Diamond with some of the worst characters in Street Fighter 5. Gil, he was ass in Street Fighter 5. Got him Diamond on 2 separate accounts. This is what pisses me off. This dismissive shit. But okay, the worst thing about this is this is in a way gatekeeping. If you really think about it, Like, they are shitting on me because I just want to eat some steak. They're basically saying like, oh, the reason why you only want steak is because you don't like chicken tenders. You just hate on chicken tenders. Like, come on, man. Just two games. And that's too much to ask. But you know what? I'm done with this genre, though. I'll tell you that much. And I know a lot of people tell me not to quit. I probably might just make a follow-up video when I'm less pissed off. But this shit being under my skin, man. It's just a dismissiveness. You get the word I'm saying. I'm kind of just heated right now. And it's only with this community. And let me ask y'all something. And I had a little bit of an epiphany. If complexity and all this shit really kills fighting games, really kills games in general. Okay, how did Yu-Gi-Oh get so popular? Everybody knows that Yu-Gi-Oh from the jump was super simple when it first started. After the anime. And like the first anime, like I'm talking about like Kids WB 4Kids days. That game has gotten infinitely more complex. And Yu-Gi-Oh is thriving because of it. So all this bullshit saying like, oh, it's like all this complexity, all this like training and learning how to play the game is too hard and shit. Like, if that's the case, Yu-Gi-Oh would never got off the ground. After Link summoning, XYZ summoning, Pendulum, etc. That game has so many layers now, it's almost impossible to catch up. But it's still thriving anyways. It makes no sense to me, man. It makes no sense. Yeah, yeah, true, Vegito. I ain't gonna deny it. The turns are ridiculous. But even still, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is still thriving like crazy. Still selling like hotcakes. Still selling Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, no problem. Still selling merchandise. Still having anime. Still having new decks coming out. Still having new starter decks, etc. Boosters. Having all of it, despite all of its new complexity. And it's still thriving to this day. I would say if older fighting games are somehow problematic, and why do people hold reference to said games and crack nearly 500 people on 5K Elite? That's a good question. I'm just so sick of this versus us versus them mentality within like the FGC. I'm so sick of it. Like, I'm so sick of it. And you know the worst thing about it is when all the games do this shit, when like other games do this shit, like people forget about them. Like a lot of the times. What they really mean is they want accessibility to the games that they care about, not just games in general. How many people are talking about DNF Duel right now? Seriously. Name any big YouTuber. How many people are talking about DNF Duel? How many people are talking about Under Night In-Birth? And I think Under Night In-Birth is a really criminally underrated game. To the point where it's criminal. Who's talking about that game right now? Nobody. Who is talking about Melty Blood Tight Lumina right now? Nobody. A game that's barely 2 years old. It's like it only matters when the games that we care about have accessibility, but the other games, fuck them. But let me continue with this comment. I got completely off track. Ultimately, you're getting mad at the skill gap app is increasing and you're getting left behind, simply can't adapt. You were only good at with a head start and knowing things. You really haven't watched my channel. You really haven't watched my channel, dumbass. But anyways, I digress. And you feel frustrated, exposed, and defeated. Again, it has nothing to do with skill issue. I could be the best player in the world and I still would be bored. I would still be bored. And plus, even when the harder fighting games, I got my ass kicked mercilessly. Like I said again, my most popular videos of Street Fighter 4 was me literally getting destroyed by a Makoto that I'm friends with, by the way. That I'm friends with on Steam. Yeah, and that's all they think about. There were literally tons of... join my live stream, dumbass. Just join my live stream. I'm going ahead and tell you how stupid you sound right now. This dude just commented again. Hold on. I will get to this in a sec. It's like they're acting like simple fighting games are just now a thing. I was born in 1996. And I've been playing tons of them as well, with like friends and stuff like that, but I never played them seriously until Street Fighter 4 happened. But let me tell you what this dude commented after I made my response to him. Like actually it is the case. Excessive micromanagement isn't good for anything. It's nothing about being lazy or wanting instant gratification. It's about putting fun back in fighting games. They were always fun. They're only as miserable as you make them to be. Like, in a sense. Allowing the system... What is the system? You're just saying system. Seriously, this sounds like a bunch of old grandpas getting mad because everybody has laptops. Once when they used to old computers with keyboard and fat monitors. More people being about to pull off maneuvers is a great thing. When did I say that it's not? This is seriously, it's too exhausting. It's too much. When did I say that? When did I say that it's not? When did I say that? When did I say more people being innovative and like having more ways to play is not a good thing? I want people to learn. I want people to do such and such. But when it comes to literally oversimplifying your games, where your options are very limited. And like with Guilty Gear Strive, for example, I'm sorry, that game's just boring to me, man. It's just boring. Once you figure a certain character out, your options are very limited in comparison to what you had to Rev 2. Sure, it may have new moves now, sure, but the overall system is just oversimplified. And what do you mean exploiting the system? Can somebody explain, like, exploiting the system? In other words, I took the time to learn and you're telling me I gotta be punished for being too good? Or whatever? That makes no sense. an old grandpa. Like, dude, I'm only 27, bro. You're older than me. Since you were born in 1992. You're basically like 4 years older than me. Bro, and watch me still get hate for all this. You know, I thoroughly explained. I have no problem with simple games, especially like the ones from the ground up existing. I just think when you oversimplify certain ones, especially with Guilty Gear, I think that's going to rub a lot of people off the wrong way. And guess what? They still, even though it has a good player base size now, I'm just saying, the only reason that even happened is not because the game was simplified, it's because Street Fighter V sucked. And plus, like, if you paid attention at that time, we're around like 2021, 2020. Do you remember like how many people were like saying like, oh, like whenever a new fighting game came out, like, oh, this is going to change fighting games. And like with KOF 15, is this the best fighting game of this year and stuff like that? The reason why so many FGC YouTubers in general were just going from other game to other game to other game instead of 5 was because 5 sucked. And a lot of other games got successful because of its trash. That's the reason why, that's what the big reason why Tekken 7 did so well. And I'm not trying to say this in a sense of being an elitist, it's just the way it is. Like when Street Fighter 4 was rocking and doing this thing back in 2012, 2013, 14, with like Super and Ultra, literally the other games like Tekken Tag 2, KOF 13, Guilty Gear Sign at the time, the reason why they kind of tanked low-key is because Street Fighter 4 was way in its prime. And I'm not saying that I'm just playing above Video Clunker. I'm just playing Cyberpunk right now. I'm pretty much done with fighting games, man. I'm pretty much done with it. There's gotta be something that really gonna change my mind, or I probably might just play with friends if they will have me. Other than that, I'm not playing it. Sorry, that's just not happening. Like after, it's like people just want to dehumanize you and just make you out to be like a villain or some shit. And I know that's kind of ironic, but it gets so frustrating to the point where I don't even want to touch it anymore. It's like just asking for a balance between the two types of fighting games is literally too much. Out of like 10 simple fighting games, can I at least get 2? Can I at least get 2? Just 2. And that's too much to ask. And I'm not the only person who feels this way, man. Like I literally got endless comments saying like, oh, how they feel, how they understand how I feel, even though they may not agree with me, at least they understand. Instead like this dismissive BS. Just go play Fightgate. Just go play Fightcade. Don't gatekeep. Fails to realize the irony of it. You're basically telling me, go play with my old toys. Go play with them boomer games. and let's say hypothetically, if I made a video saying like, oh, all Fightcade games are the real fighting games. That's where the real fighting games are at, right? I would still get just as much hate. I might as well just said that. Because how many people that want to just assume my position because I don't agree with certain things. At least with other communities, like with COD and stuff like that, with their toxicity, they may be toxic. Hell, they may even be slightly more toxic than the FGC. But at the very least, it's real. Instead of this fake positivity BS. And mind you, I played COD for years back on Xbox 360. I played it Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2. I played it a lot during those times. And you know what? I dealt with it all. And I was just fine with it. Especially when you whoop their ass, or like if you talked enough shit back, you got respect for the most part. I actually became friends with some of those dudes that called me the worst of shit. That's just how it was. I hanged with the worst of them. I had to talk my shit. And mind you, that was a time where people were just straight up ruthless. Like if you couldn't hang in there, like then you just gonna get eaten alive. And just because like I may not play fighting games anymore, that doesn't mean I won't like be uploading videos. No, far from it. But man, it's just asking just for a little bit is too much now. It's ridiculous, man. Just because I want to play Dark Souls, that doesn't mean I'm trash at Mario. It can't adapt to it, whatever the hell that means. And even if I couldn't, why can't I have that preference? Why? Why is that such a big issue? I'm just a fighting game fan just like everybody else. I'm not special. I know that. I'm not special. I'm not pretending that I am. But man, it's just... what can you say? What the hell can you say? Shit. It's just the dropped inputs with Street Fighter 6, man. It's just the dropping of inputs that made me mad. It's not even so much modern controls in of itself that kind of pisses me off. Like, it's like a little bit of a... I mean, even modern controls, they don't piss me off that bad. They don't. It's just like that once in a blue moon when you run into them, it's a pain in the ass for all the wrong reasons. But overall, the biggest problem I have with Street Fighter 6 is just the dropped inputs, man. And the greed of the DLC is with the costumes, man. Re-costumes. Well, 2.5 really, because I had a few fight coins left. But basically two and a half costumes cost me almost 24 bucks. I just tested out just to see. That's ridiculous. When literally like older games, you can literally buy whole packs for literally 8 bucks. Nah. That's ridiculous. But make sure y'all like the video. Make sure y'all like the stream too. And make sure y'all subscribe because I'll have more different shit coming. But for fighting games right now, no. I might go ahead and just try Under Night In-Birth 2 when that game comes out. I already pre-ordered it. So I had it pre-ordered before I even made those videos. So I'll try that out, I guess. Maybe. I just don't want to feel like I wasted 50 bucks, but I'll try that game out. Bro, I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of one and done in myself, like in Street Fighter 6. I like after that, but it wasn't even like the players, it was a whole different reason. Like the MR system is just completely whack. Like after that reset, I literally stopped caring about the game. I literally just stopped caring. Like with Luke, I literally was at 1,700 points. Do you like any roguelikes? I don't even know what that is. But but man, like I'm just so exhausted, bro. I'm just exhausted. I just never felt so drained of something that I could like. Just never felt so drained. And I literally don't have a problem with games like Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Rising existing. I don't have a problem with that game existing. I think it's great that new players can get the chance to play games that they want to play. Games are made for them. Why can't I get some games that are new made for me too? And people like me. Why is that such a hard thing? And it's not just me that's having the same issue with the dropped inputs. Sonic Soul made a whole video about that. I was in the live stream when he was trying to bait the throw and try to throw out a standing fierce and it didn't come out. I mean, he still won the match, but let's just say if he didn't and that was Evo, look what would happen then. He literally would have got robbed. Imagine if that was Evo in his input, you know, and it showed that he put in the input and it drops anyway. Imagine that was Evo and he lost because of it. I would have been throwing shit. I would have been throwing things all over the place if that were me. Or like that Capcom competition for that $1 million. I don't know how I would have reacted. If I lost all that money and it wasn't even my fault. That would have made me so heated, bro. I think I would have gave up fighting against because of that too, just on that. And just some people just act like there's no war in Bossing Say. What I mean by that is like people just act like those problems just don't exist. They're like, oh, I never had a dropped input before. It sounds like a lot like skill issue. But as soon as somebody like Punk says it, oh, I've been having this problem the whole time. The same people that were saying that. It's just crazy ironic. And plus, what I mean by like, oh, people believe because they have credentials. No, you should believe people based on evidence. Anybody with credentials can still be dishonest or still be incorrect. Like, don't just follow somebody because they have a few things next to their name. You still should have to come up with your own logical conclusions. And they should have things to back up their claims. And it's not normal just to believe somebody just solely based because, oh, they have a big name. That's not normal. That's gullibility. People shouldn't just believe me just because of the things that I say. I have no problem with people disagreeing with me. That's not the issue. The problem is when people are just straight up dismissive because of what I say. Just act like, oh, it's just not there. Like, all these problems I have are just in my head. They're just isolated. When I know there's other people out there that feel the same way that I do because they commented the same things that they have a problem with that I'm having problems with. What about core A gaming like Fox and Foxy Grandpa and others who claims that most misinputs come down to stress and matches? That's not the case. I can still be tilted in Street Fighter 4 and then my inputs will still come out. Your stress has nothing to do with it. If that were the case, if stress have to do with missed inputs and stuff like that, then like you can just chop it up. You can just chop that up with anything, really. Oh, I'm not moving forward because I'm too heated right now. No, sometimes you just got to call out these companies for what it is. It's not like it's hatred or anything. It's not like I'm being an elitist. It's just that you're being real. You would have no problem criticizing like games like Overwatch or literally any other genre of fighting game. This is the only genre I see where they rather have their rose-tinted glasses super glued to their head. This is the only genre I see this kind of BS in. And I like fighting games. I do. I mean, I like some of the simple shit and I like the complex shit. The more complex shit is just my personal preference. And I shouldn't have to be stuck with just one thing. What's wrong with just having a balance, man? That's all I want. I don't want domination. I don't want simple games that have complete domination. I just want a balance between the two. That's it. It's not that much to ask. I like the perfect parry. I think honestly the perfect parry needs to be buffed in my opinion and changed. But the parry, like just holding down parry, I'm sorry, there's just no way you're gonna tell me that just takes skill. Just holding down two buttons and just blocking everything. I think how it should have been, it's just when you hold those two buttons, you actually just have to tap forward. You have to tap it. In modern, it should block everything. In classic, you should actually have to manually tap it. In my opinion. Or at least have the option to do so. What's up, Prime Togi? I wasn't expecting you to be here. But man, like I basically just hit a point where I don't even care about this shit no more. Because anything I say, like anything negative, it's just gonna be met with automatic scrutiny. And just be written off. Hold on, I need to put my phone on charge. But man, it's like, and plus this is not rage. My voice gets loud, it's not rage, man. It's passion. And I hate seeing my passion die. It's like people don't want to understand you as a human being anymore, man. They just see you as like a threat to a product. And when I got those comments saying like, oh, how they felt similar to how I feel, like I felt that. Even with some of the people that disagree with me, fine. You can disagree with me. I don't care. But when you come at me with just pre-assumptions about what I am, and then just automatically be dismissive and try to write me off and trying to like label me as something when you're not even sure about what I'm really saying. And plus, I literally told that same dude that I was talking about in the comments earlier to come in my stream. He still hasn't shown up. Still hasn't shown up. Now, I don't care about being part of the community. I really don't care. I don't give a fuck. But when it comes to like just being just really dismissive about like everything I just said and just label me as a bad guy anyway, I think that's stupid. And that can really just get on somebody's nerves. I just said it like it is. I'm just don't respect modern controls. I don't. Especially when you got so much information now, more so than ever before. And like again, Street Fighter 6 so well, not because of modern, it's because it had actual modes that actually appeal to casuals. And because it wasn't trash. Yeah, I pretty much failed this. I gotta reset it. I got distracted. Every argument comes from love, but you can't make two characters perfectly balanced. I never said you could. And I'm not talking about characters, I'm just talking about games. I just want a balance between a hardcore game, counts for hardcore games, like spaces for hardcore games and simple games. That's it. Just two good spaces. Two moderate spaces for simple and hardcore fighting games. Is that too much to ask, man? There's no such thing as a perfectly balanced game. I'm already aware of that. How do I think Street Fighter 5 is doing? Not good at all. Most people forgot about that game even existed. Hell, even I almost forgot that game existed. Like literally nobody's bringing up Street Fighter 5 like that anymore. Except like a few small people, but like, and when I mean small, I mean way smaller than even I am. Like barely any subs. Let's be uploading like random clips, unedited clips. And some people were praising that game when it was hot. But now Street Fighter 5 came out, people act like that game never existed. Not that I blame them. I'm just saying, like, you really see the dishonesty when they're not needed. And mind you, I don't harbor any hatred for like new players. I don't harbor hatred in my heart. I'm too old for that shit.
What?
I'm just a person that just says like how I feel. If y'all got a problem with that, I'm sorry. Y'all can just shove it. No, I'm not talking to y'all specifically. I'm just talking like to the certain ones. I'm sorry, but Street Fighter 5, that game was trash all the way through. I'm sorry, there's no such thing as a good fighting game when all you can do is play on training stage, when all the other stages are just gonna lag like crazy. I mean, sure, we got more characters, we had more mechanics, sure, but the mechanics were basically borderline useless. Like fee shift for like in some cases, like if you try to fee shift against Akira's fee trigger 1, that goes just gonna go right through it. Yeah, and half those stations you had to pay money for. That almost costed the same thing as a character. Shit. Still the combo. Damn it. Let me read some of the chat. Blah, blah, blah. People forget fighting games exist. That's normal. And Street Fighter 6 is the balance game. Classic and modern are an amazing design for casual hardcore audience. Same thing with Grand Blue. I mean, I'm not knocking Grand Blue, but that's for what it is. But mind you, the reason why Street Fighter 6 got a lot of sales, like I said again, it's not because of modern, it's because of all the other content that they had. Street Fighter 5 could have had modern too, but it still wouldn't have made a lick of difference. That game was sucked. Yeah, because the technology is there. Yeah, because the technology is there. That's kind of a silly argument. I mean, Guilty Gear Strive also has good netcode. And I think that game's kind of boring too. I'm not going to lie to you. And plus, like a lot of like the older games, I'm sorry, like a lot of the older games, especially like with Sign, Rev 2, or however you want to call it. But Sign, KOF 13, and Tekken Tag 2 is not because simply based off the premise that they were a little bit harder, mind you. It's because their netcodes low-key kind of sucked. That's why Guilty Gear Rev 2 just now got netcode like a rollback netcode literally just last year. Like mind you, if those games came out in Street Fighter 5's like worst time, they would have sold way more. They would have sold way more. The reason why I say that because Tekken 7 sold 10 million copies. Not because it was like the best Tekken, people like to say. I mean, once you take away online, what does Tekken 7 really have? Besides like a shitty story mode. Basically nothing. Honestly, if you want the best story, if you want like the best story mode, go play Tekken 4 or 5. But if you really want to just talk about like getting like the character depth and shit like that, go play Tekken 4. That literally did it the best. And Tekken 4 was not everybody's cup of tea, I understand, but if you want to just play just based on the sole premise of just story, like in lore and stuff like that, Tekken 4 is the best one for you out of all of them. Guilty Gears get touched, lose 80% health. I mean, yeah, kind of. Well, I mean, if you're playing against, who's that vampire player? Oh yeah, Slayer. If you're playing against Slayer, then yeah, yeah. If you get touched, that's 80% health gone. I mean, but that's just Slayer though. Yeah, but Tekken 7's customization, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I'll only use it basically as color swapping, but that's about it. I'm glad like Tekken 8 is like getting more customization. Like, I mean, just because I don't like a few things about Tekken 8, I don't mean I think it's a dog shit game. I mean, it can be, the movement I think can be improved. I mean, does it have to be like Tekken Tag 2? No. But like, it can be better than Tekken 7 and what it is right now, I will admit. And I just thought the heat system was stupid. Not the entirety of the thing. I just think when you're in heat, you shouldn't get a perfect electric regardless. I think that's dumb. And especially like in like a special style mode, like where you literally can just press one button for like electric wind guard fist, and you'll get it perfectly just by pressing one button. I think that's dumb. I mean, just because I can duck and just punish it, I mean, I can do that if I want to, but I'm just saying in and of itself, that kind of just ruins the whole purpose of that move. That move's iconic because it's hard for a reason. Tekken 8 has incredible depth when you can become the best by picking a character and sticking with them. Like over Ultimate vs. Marvel Capcom 3 was never really the main aspect of fighting games. Like I said, I didn't say Tekken 8 wasn't complex. I didn't say that. But 3D fighters, it's kind of not my strong suit. It's not my personal preference. I mean, like I can be like fairly decent with like Miguel and shit like that, yeah. But I mean, I like Kazuya. I mean, I'm not good with him, really, not at all. I mean, just being real. I just never really played with Mishima characters. Oh, you meant to say Tekken 7. Oh. But Rev 2, Tekken 7 was the best Tekken. About Samurai Showdown? I don't know. I just never really was a fan of it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but like I want to get like new players and try to make defense like a thing in the past. I think that's stupid. I just think that's stupid, man. Like, I want more people to learn fighting games. I want people to enjoy them. I have no problem with new people playing the game. That's not the problem. When you're literally sacrificing execution, defense, etc., that's the issue I have. I think that's dumb. I just don't get why we can't just have more thorough tutorials, like on how to do combos, on like how to teach spacing and stuff like that. I don't know why can't these companies get this very people that I talk about, like Justin Wong, Punk, etc. Why can't they have video demonstrations, like instead of like just showing the combo or whatever, but they actually, and they should have an option on like on what they should display these kind of techniques on. Like, let's say if I'm doing like a combo tutorial, right? And let's say like with Punk, it's like in the video tutorial and he's playing on stick or on pad or whatever he plays on, right? Let's say for example, like it actually showed his hands like actually doing the inputs, going step by step on how to do the things. I think that would be great. I think that would be great because also these big names will also pull attraction to the game now they're actually in the game. I think that's a positive way on how to teach people how to learn it, to actually thoroughly show them out how to do these inputs. I mean, you can tell anybody how to do something like any day of the week. I can tell you, oh, make up your bed. But if I don't show you, then what good is it? I think that'd be an excellent example. Like, you should change your options. So like, and let's say like for Smug, for instance, everybody knows Smug is a pad player. Have him like do the demonstrations on pad. Show him like step by step on like how to do this and how to time it. There's tutorials like that. I just don't get why that's the case. I really just don't comprehend it. But anyways, man, I'll just catch y'all next time. This is gonna be a short stream. This ain't gonna be like no 3-hour stream or some BS like that.
Yeah.
But man, I just, all I wanted was just a balance. It's not that much I'm asking for. But it's whatever. It is what it is, I guess.